Hi, this is another Member Mission present from Member Mission Presents. You're looking at my friend from long years of ministry, Wesley Shike. I met him.
Charles Wesley Shike.
Charles Wesley Shike. In the good Methodist tradition he was born. I knew him as an Episcopal priest colleague. And I was so interested that at one point he felt called to go into psychoanalysis, which he became, and has worked in that field for many years, doing great work to get New York State, we'll get into that another time, but to get funding recognition for mental health services that was not present. Right? Am I right so far?
That's correct. Very good summary. Thank you.
All right. Now, in retirement, and this is what fascinates me, here he is in retirement. He is giving his time to consult regularly with Mount Sinai Hospital and lectures to psychiatrists there on religion and psychiatry and how they meet. And you told a story to me of, I wanted to know, how do you put them together? And I love the way you began.
Well, I had an experience on the wards one day. I go on the wards on Tuesdays and Thursday afternoons. And I came into a room and there were two women, one in the bed, the patient, and the other at the end of the bed. And the woman at the end of the bed said, "You can't pray for her, she's an atheist." And the woman yelled out, "No, I'm a Quaker." So I went up to the woman and I said, "Well, if you're a Quaker, you know the light. Will you take my hand, let us be in the light together." We were in the light, and that was the prayer.
I think this is, if I'm understanding, this is the kind of thing you put before the psychiatrist to say, when you enter a room, put the person at ease in their fears. Would you say more about that?
Absolutely, because I believe that patients are really fearful when somebody enters the room, particularly a doctor and particularly a psychiatrist. What they're going to ask me. So that you want to remember that in your approach and your presence is important, and it's even luminous, it's vitally important, but if you ease their fear and approach them gradually, they will respond to you and begin talking to you about their sick experience.
Then do you also sit in on case seminars, that kind of thing?
One of the most enjoyable things I've done for the last 5 years, and I believe it's been almost equal to a philosophical education, is that I speak to them about philosophy and science and religion, using philosophy as well as theology, but most important, using the experience of psychiatry to understand the whole meaning of human life.
Can you speak, expand on that a bit? How do you present the meaning of human life?
Well, my most recent lecture was on existentialism. I became an existentialist in 1946, right after World War II, in Warsaw, Poland. I had gone there to see for myself the desecration and the tragedy of the Holocaust. And I came into a street which was totally destroyed. And if any of you saw the movie The Pianist had this young man in his own apartment and had kept him there, and they were looking down into the street where the Holocaust actually took place, totally destroyed. I walked down that street alone in 1946, looking for some way that I might be helpful. And I got up in one of the old buildings. I saw one man walking. I said, "That's my existential man. I've got to keep him walking." And before I went to Warsaw, I didn't know whether I was going to be a minister like my father, a doctor like Albert Schweitzer, or a politician. And as a result, that really shaped my life, enjoyment and tragedy and difficulties and service. So today I work as a priest in different parishes in New York under the direction of the bishop. I visit patients at Mount Sinai, and I get the pleasure of lecturing to and with participating in group process with the psychiatrists, social workers, psychologists at Mount Sinai Hospital.
Now, I'm so interested in this moment of decision, walking down this street, and you see this one man as he will be your person to help. And how did this lead you to decide to look into, explore, and become an ordained clergy person?
Well, before we left on that trip, I didn't know whether I would be a minister like my father was, or whether I would be a doctor like Albert Schweitzer, my hero, or whether I would be a politician. I had studied politics at Swarthmore College right after the war. And as a result of this experience, I've been very pleased that my career has involved every one of those experiences.
And so then, the bridge between the man walking down the street and the decision for ministry, ordained ministry.
When I left Warsaw, as I drove out in trucks, we didn't have any buses, I would look around, everything was totally destroyed. And I thought to myself, how will I express in my life what I've learned here through my war service and through this visit to these suffering people? And out of that came my decision. As I went out, I saw everything is destroyed. But then, when I got outside the city, wherever there was a home, where there was a flower box, there were flowers. I said, oh my God, death and resurrection. I better head for seminary.
I love it, and I love the picture of you working with the psychiatrists at Mount Sinai, which of course is a Jewish climate, in which you're quite at home and quite affirming of them and they of you in this setting. So I'd love to come back with you some more, Wesley, but I want to thank you for this. Any last word you might have?
Well, I have a Jewish spirit because my earliest friends were Jews, and all of my life I've worked with Jewish people, and therefore it has a great meaning to me, the relationship to the Bible and the Christian faith, that the two are always linked together.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Wesley. We'll be back sometime.
Wonderful to see you. Thank you, Wayne.